J Media.
Welcome back to Ignyte podcast. I'm your host, Austin T. Gullett, and we're here to have genuine conversations with authentic people to help amplify their voice and figure out what ignites their why. Yo, I'm so happy to be back with you guys. It's been a long 3 weeks. I've missed talking on the mic and just I feel really amped up right now because I have so much to talk about, and I'm super freaking excited for this episode today because I'm bringing it all full circle here. You just got me, so I hope you're okay with that. We'll have more guests in the future, but I just wanted to chop it up and get real with y'all. I think that's the biggest thing is let's have a genuine, authentic conversation, and I'm going to be open and honest as I can. So let's just hop right into this, right? Flashback 2021. Right after the pandemic, I feel like I was just kind of lost in a sense. And I was like, hey, I want to do a podcast. And me and my boy Devon, you just heard him on the last episode. So if you haven't heard it, stop what you're doing, go check it out. But if you already did, perfect. But thought about this process, really didn't know what I wanted to talk about, right? Came up with Ignite Your Why and been running with it ever since. And I think the mission of this podcast will always remain the same. It is to share people's stories and to inspire other people, right? But when you think about what does it truly mean to ignite your why, we have never had that conversation on here. And we're going to have it today. I think it's about damn time. It has been 4 years off and on of doing this podcast, and we never truly sat down to talk about what it means to find your purpose and ignite your why. And that changes today. So we're just going to hop right into it. So when you think about finding your purpose and igniting your why, it is a loaded fucking question. You're like, shit, I don't fucking know, because it's okay if you don't. And I want you to know that finding your purpose takes time. Sometimes it happens overnight. Sometimes it happens and it falls in your lap. Other times it just takes time, and you got to respect that journey. So if you're out there, this episode is for you, for anyone who's ever felt lost, uncertain, frustrated because they haven't found their purpose quite just yet. And I'll be honest with you, this is just a quick reminder for you. Purpose isn't always found or obvious. It's a journey, not a destination, right? So you have to remember that. Some people you see on highlights of their social media of like their amazing life, but you don't see the process that goes along with that to get to that point, right? Feel like there's so much pressure to find your purpose, right? And that's going to be our first segment today. Why is there so much pressure to find your purpose? Let's talk about it. When you look at society and you look at everyone around you, you have pressure from every single angle, from your family, from your friends, from your teachers, from your coworkers, from everyone. And I think it starts at such a young age because like, think about kindergarten. So let's take a flashback. You're in kindergarten, it's your first day, second day, whatever it is. They always ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? At 5 years old, I wanted to be a McDonald's manager. I'm being completely honest. I was like, I'm going to own a McDonald's. I'm going to be a manager. And that's what I wanted to do. As I grew older, that obviously changed. I did not want to be a McDonald's manager. Props to people who are. I mean, everyone's passion is different. Everyone's journey is different. But over life, like it just kind of changed over time, right? And when you think of your purpose and you think of your why, there are even successful people who still don't know what their purpose is. And it's okay. It is okay if you do not know. I will say that multiple times on this episode. It is okay if you do not know what your purpose is. Just because you don't know right now, that does not mean that you're behind, right? God has a plan for you. Everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And that's all that really matters, right? So you think of life's journey and when you're a kid and what was that dream job you wanted? Just think about it. Think of that dream job you thought about. when they asked you when you were 5 or 6 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? And now when you're looking back at that little boy or little girl and you're just like, damn, he or she was so ambitious. Because at some point in my life when I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be so many things, a firefighter, a police officer. Your imagination at that age is so big. But as you experience life, that's where you start to find out like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I need to pivot and go a different way. And for a while, I thought sports was my passion. Sports is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional athlete. I wanted to play college basketball. I wanted to play college soccer. I wanted to be the superstar. I wanted to be the next Kobe Bryant because that's my GOAT. Sorry, y'all. But I wanted to be that person. And as I got older, I started to realize like, okay, might not be good enough to make it to the league, but I still love sports. And I think as an athlete, you kind of I identified myself so much as an athlete that I didn't truly know who I was. And it took time to get to that point. But let's think about it. Let's sit back and let's think about this. So what does it mean to ignite your why? Right? You have to redefine your purpose in a personal way. Your why is different than someone else's. So break it down. Align your why with your life and what drives you at the core, right? For me, like I said, like it changed over time. And I didn't realize until I was in college what that purpose could have been or can be because I wanted to be an athlete. I knew I wasn't playing in college, so I had to adjust. I was like, I want to be a teacher, right? I love working with kids. I love being able to make a difference. I want to be a teacher. Worked in a school, realized I don't want to be a teacher. I didn't like the pressure of making lesson plans and doing all these things. I was like, this is not for me. Let's switch. I was like, oh, athletic training. That couldn't pass anatomy and physiology. Was hard as hell. Props to people who do. Good for you. I honestly, y'all, I changed my major 5 times in undergrad. 5. And the first 2 years of college, I truly didn't declare a major because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I was shy, didn't really have a ton of friends. Just really just was paying a shit ton of money to take general education courses. Like, and then I ran out. So I was like, oh shit, I got to make a decision, right? So ended up studying organizational leadership, and I I love leadership. I feel like I've always been a leader throughout sports, and I feel like it kind of just gravitated towards me. But I knew it also wasn't what I wanted to do, like for like my lifetime. And that's what it comes down to is even at 20, 21 years old, like I was still figuring out my purpose. And here I am at 29, and I feel like I have a great grasp on what my purpose is, but it still changes over time because that's life. Your purpose is going to change. Your purpose is going to evolve as you grow, and it can change to something completely different. But that's okay. And even if you don't know right now, again, that is okay. It can be whatever you want it to be. And sometimes you have to really, really dig deep down to figure out what that is. No one can figure it out besides you. People can tell you, you should do this, you should do that. But you yourself have to take a step back, reflect, and think, what is it that I truly want to do? And what is it at the core that will make me happy? And that is your purpose, right? There's so many ways you can just start to explore your purpose. And there's so many different ways because you don't have to have all the answers, and you're never going to have all the answers in reality. You just have to be curious, be spontaneous, journal, Write things down. Think of this question, right? When you're thinking of your purpose, you know this is what fuels me. So think of this question. What is it that lights you up? What's that thing that makes you feel like, oh yeah, I like this? Puts a smile to your face, makes you feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. What is that thing? There has to be one thing. And if it's not there, that's okay. You have time to figure it out. But ask those questions. What would you like to do if you weren't being paid? What do people often come to you for? Just think of those things, because those little details can help you figure out what that purpose actually is, right? And I think the thing is like, try different things. You might not know right now, and like I said, that's okay. I've said this like 50 million times because I want you to get it in your head that it's okay if you don't know right now. But there's ways you can get to that point, like volunteer, shadow someone in a career that you think you might be interested in. Try something new, a new sport, a new hobby. Try writing, reading, journaling, music, whatever it may be. There's so many different avenues in life that you can go down, but you don't know if you like something until you try it. It's kind of like my mom always said with food. You don't like it if you can't knock it if you don't try it. It looks nasty. I'm not eating it, but that's a different story, right? And I think the thing is like, you have to want it for yourself. You have to want to have that passion and that drive to find it for yourself, because it's your journey. Respect it, embrace it, love it, right? And it's going to take time. It's not going to come overnight. Like I said, it might for some people. And if that's you, I give you so many props. But life is an evolving circle, and you're going to continue to grow, and that circle is going to get bigger and bigger, and you're going to figure out exactly what it is that ignites your why, right? And remember, on this journey, you are never behind on this journey, right? Never. Because in this journey, you're becoming who you're supposed to be, and you're figuring out what that passion is. So remember, I'm never behind because I'm becoming the person I'm supposed to be. And it's one of those things where you might feel worried, stressed, or anxious, and like, oh, Austin, like, you're just talking a bunch of bullshit. And that's okay. I might be. But this might land with one person. And I think if that's all that matters, is if I land with one person, then I'm doing my job. Because you have to remind yourself that purpose isn't something you find once and for all. It's something you build. A purpose is something you build over time, because it's going to gradually become bigger and bigger. For me, that purpose has always been working with kids and giving them opportunities to be successful. I wouldn't say always. I can't say that. Scratch that. Fuck that. It has not always been that. But over time, it's grown into that. I realized that I wanted to merge my world of sports and my world of helping children together. And I didn't know how to do that until I got to grad school, because I knew, like I said, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. And that is such a broad degree, and I can do so many things with it. But I knew that there was more to my purpose, and there was more that I needed to do. And I decided to get my master's of education in sport administration from the best university in Cincinnati, by the way, Xavier University. But that's not the point. During that time at Xavier, that is where I did the hard work. I put in countless of hours studying, interning, working. I grinded. I worked 80 hours a week. I did an unpaid internship and worked and was a full-time student all at the same damn time, because I knew my purpose was greater than what I was doing at that moment. And I had to trust it. It was frustrating. I was anxious. I was doubtful, right? Those are common things to do. Think back to a time where you're like, I really want something, right? You want to do something in life, But then there's always that little voice in your head that says, you can't fucking do this. You're out of your mind. You got to shut that shit out. It's hard as hell, because we're our biggest critics. The only person who's going to judge you more than anyone else is yourself. You are going to judge you more than anyone else in this life. And you're going to constantly have that little voice in your head spitting like, ooh, that's not good. Ooh, try again. Are you sure you want to do this? You're not very good at this. You're a failure. You suck. No, don't listen to that voice, because I've listened to that fucking voice for so long, and I let it eat me up and destroy me. It destroys me because I'm my biggest fucking critic, because I want to be perfect. And I want to give a perfect podcast. I want to do my perfect job. I want to be perfect at everything I fucking do. And that voice in my head is constantly saying like, you suck. But I've learned to ignore it. Not all the time. Let's be real. But sometimes, like, I've learned to shut that voice off and trust what I'm doing and understand that I'm living my purpose. And my purpose right now can change. It can change next year. But right now, I'm living in that purpose. I'm living in my purpose, doing what I love to do. And it took fucking forever to get here. I'm not going to lie to you. It took a long ass time, and it was hard. The journey was hard. And I don't think people truly understand that, because like I said early on in this episode, is you're going to see a highlight reel on social media of everyone else's successes. But what you don't see is what happens behind those closed doors. And that's people putting in the work and putting in the effort and digging deep to find their purpose every single day. Some days are going to be better than others. Some days are going to be hard as hell. And some days are going to be super easy. But one thing you cannot do is give up, because that's the easy thing to do. The easy thing to do is to give up and say, fuck this. I can't do this anymore. The hardest thing is when you get knocked down is to get back up and continue to fight, because you have that strength. You do. It's down there. You just have to fucking find it. And you can. It's right there. It's within you. And it's going to take time. But you have to be willing to put in the work and trust the process. So I don't know if I went on a tangent. I don't know if I even answered my whole question. But what is it that truly ignites someone's why? And that's just living in your core and doing what makes you happy. That's it. It doesn't necessarily have to be your career. It can be a hobby. It could be volunteering. It could be whatever the hell you want it to be. But that why is somewhere deep inside of you, and you have to put in that work to find it. So I challenge you to do the work. Even when it's hard, continue to do the work. Not saying it's going to be easy, because it's not. You're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. But we don't take losses. We take lessons. Let me say that again for you. We do not take losses. We take lessons. Because in our failures, there's growth. And in failures, there's a lesson. Sometimes it makes sense right away. Other times it doesn't. I don't know if you're religious or not watching this, but there's a Bible verse that I will always go to, and it is John 13:7. It reads, Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you'll understand." And to me, that message right there just says, no matter what's going on in life, it's happening for a reason. I may not know right now in this season, but later on in life, when I look back and reflect, it's all going to make sense. Eventually, you just have to trust that process. So I'm going to close it with this. I just encourage you to continue to stay open, stay curious, and keep showing up for yourself, because you deserve it. You are worth it. You have so much potential, and that purpose is out there for you. And I want you to live your truth every single day, because you're amazing just the way you are, whether you think it or not. I love you so freaking much. And I want you to keep your heads high, kings and queens, because you deserve it. So until next time, I hope you guys find your purpose, ignite your why. And oh, wait. Pause. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, do not forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn those post notifications on. And if you want to stay up to date on all episodes of Ignite Your Why, follow us on social media. It's at Ignite Your Why. We're on every single platform, so make sure you find us. Sorry, had to throw that little plug in. But like I said, y'all, I love you guys so freaking much. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something today. And most importantly, I hope you go out there and find your purpose. So, like I said before, always remember, guys, find your purpose, ignite your why, and I'll holler at you guys later.